Vola anguela o veteronugu, ako itabua. Ako do talitay na barong na Bula FM, nambando na sir.
Bula, alang gono ilutoka do talita ka ng Bula FM berarti ni nambando na sir.
Ni Bula binaka, nanreke ngo sa Bula FM nga. Na kasi.
Nalang go sa mundo atibyo ng Bula FM nambando na sir nusur.
Ni Bula binaka, nalang go Jerry, yang melambasa. Do barong ng Bula FM, nambando.
Bula FM, nambando na sir.
In the news tonight, Fiji bankruptcy rumours are only that, says PM. Postmortem completed for Nandi family. And how far are companies going with survey results?
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama today hit out at his opponents for continuously spreading lies that Fiji is running out of money, calling it a lame attempt to derail the country. While delivering the opening address at the Ra Provincial Council meeting, Bainimarama says if those including opposition members who continue to talk about bankruptcy seem to be living in dreamland. He is urging Fijians to question those politicians about the false claims each time the issue of Fiji having no money is brought up. Felipe Naikaso has more.
The Prime Minister not holding back against the rumor mongers who have been going around spreading lies about Fiji and her financial status.
I urge you to ask them, so who is paying for our children's education? Who is paying for our free water and subsidized electricity? Who is building the roads and giving assistance to the vulnerable? I promise you, it's not my opponents.
Bainimarama says that the opposition continues to oppose every government move and not ready to help the state. He says this is evident whenever a motion is moved by the government, the opposition stands ready to vote against it. He told those present that government will continue to cover the absolute essentials for every Fijian family.
I'm passionate about the well-being of every Fijian who calls this province home. I don't measure progress just by the new world-class hotels and grocery stores popping up in Suva and of our major towns and cities. I measure progress of how life in our rural communities is keeping pace with the development of the urban areas.
For the Provincial Council meeting, a number of issues will be discussed over the next few days.
Right now we are looking at the roads, the clean water, health centers, the farm road. Those are the projects of the government.
The Ra province has also been reminded that the rural areas will never be forgotten in government's plans to ensure the needs of people are served urgently as possible. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The post-mortem examination of the 5 bodies that were found in the Nausori highlands in Nandi on Monday has been conducted. Police investigators are still going over the findings. Police have, in the meantime, interviewed a number of people as investigators try to gather more information to establish how the victim's car was found abandoned in Votolevu, Nandi. The bodies of 63-year-old carpenter Nirmal Kumar, his 54-year-old wife Usha Devi, their 34-year-old daughter Nileshni Kajal, and her 2 daughters aged 11 and 8 were discovered on Monday morning in the Nausori highlands. A 1-year-old also found at the scene remains admitted in hospital. Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama says that the discovery of the 5 bodies in the Nausori highlands on Monday is devastating news for the nation. Speaking during the opening of the Ra Provincial Council meeting, Bainimarama says that he knows the news would shock all Fijians following the horrific tragedy. Bainimarama has asked everyone to remember the families and relatives in their prayers as they go through this heartbreaking time. Bainimarama also says that it was very fortunate that a child was found alive and is currently under the care of doctors, and that he is also praying for her. He adds the police have assured him that they are giving this serious matter the resources and attention it deserves as they work to uncover the nature of this crime and discover who is responsible. The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission and the Consumer Council are concerned companies are using false statistics to fool consumers. The FCCC has noted some businesses are providing misleading statistics via their survey results, as a radio station did recently. Koroi Tandulalo reports how this falsification has not always been reflected in the company revenue.
The Fijian Competition and Consumer Commission has noted discrepancies within some businesses in terms of marketing.
We found that there are certain businesses that are using misleading statistics who are involved in marketing and advertising. They're using misleading statistics to get customers.
FCCC CEO Joel Abraham says the discrepancies are found when traders pitch their advertisement and they lie about their audience reach.
Then we started noting that when people were coming in to pitch their advertising, their sales and marketing pitch, the advertisers were not giving a true picture. There's some that have come and said 86% of Fiji listens to us.
Consumer Council's Chief Executive Seema Shandil says businesses need to reflect on their practices and ensure they don't fall on the wrong side of the law.
You are the right person to look for answers and answer themselves and to see where have we gone wrong. Where have the businesses gone wrong?
The two consumer protection agencies are urging businesses to practice fair trading, as unethical practices can tarnish the reputation of the entire business community. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
More than 7,000 applications under the Social Benefit Scheme were terminated in the last financial year. Social Welfare Director Rupeni Fatiaki revealed to FBC News that these cases include applicants who gave false information in order to qualify for the three major social welfare schemes. Sainian Imboilo reports.
2,684 beneficiaries under the social pension scheme were terminated in the last financial year, mainly due to deaths and false information.
Reviews have been done, and we have discovered that some recipients have passed away. We have discovered that children are already turned 18, and so cases were terminated.
The social welfare currently has over 86,000 beneficiaries under its three major schemes. 26,000 beneficiaries are currently part of the poverty benefit scheme, out of which 4,035 cases have been terminated. 387 cases have been canned from the care and protection allowance.
We have ongoing cases that we have come across where we have discovered the abuse of the assistance. And we come through this when we conduct our reviews that people do not qualify.
Those that abuse these schemes should be taken to task.
The social benefit scheme is a great help for those that need it and should not be abused.
The Social Welfare Department needs to closely monitor these schemes and give it to only those that's in need.
The ministry says it has already received 2,899 cases up until July, which is yet to be processed. Sainian Imboila, FBC News.
Up ahead, UN backs Fiji for 2030 goals. A new book talks about age-long stigma. Details after the break.
Hi, Bula. I'm Selai from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, my name is Sotiama here in Ba. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, I'm Miri. I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Ini from Rakiraki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Developers at the WG Friendship Plaza are working on demolishing their retaining wall, which encroached into the property of Holy Trinity Anglican School 2 months ago. With the stop work order still in place, the developers claim they've been given permission by the Suva City Council to carry out this work. Kelly Vavala reports.
Work on this 30-story building was halted in June for breaking boundary laws, but now its developers are working on getting back on the right track.
We're demolishing our retaining wall, which is encroaching into this area, and at this stage we have already submitted our letter to the SCC to cut off our balcony which is encroached to the church area. So we hope the ACC and some relative department can help us to solve this problem quickly.
WG's Legal and Internal Affairs Manager Katrina Wong says the only work carried out at the site is the removal of the encroaching area.
The stop work order doesn't stop us from removing the encroaching area. So the only work that is currently happening is this area over here, which is the retaining wall part. Once it is done, we'll once again review with SCC and negotiate for the lifting of the stop work order.
WG's acting CEO Ron Ding says they're also still in the process of negotiating with the management of the Holy Trinity Anglican School.
Yeah, we have talked a couple of times, so I think the mediation is still in process.
Doing something, they're clearing a wall that they'd done something wrong with, but I'll have to find out more about it.
The Suva City Council has not responded to the questions that were sent to them earlier today regarding the matter. But what we do know is that the WG Plaza developers have employed locals for demolition works and are trying to resolve the matter so that the construction on the plaza resumes. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Fiji has the potential to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal in curbing AIDS by 2030 if more attention is given. These are the words of Eamon Murphy, the United Nations AIDS Regional Director, as government paves the way to achieve this goal with support from the private and public sector. Chosaina Nunga reports.
Innovative strategies needed in order for Fiji to achieve the SDG number 3.3, the elimination of AIDS by 2030. Murphy says more has to be done.
Not on track yet. The epidemic is increasing at a slow but steady pace, and that's a concern. Fiji can achieve the 2030 SDGs, right? It's an upper middle income country, it has resources, it has partnerships to draw on for other technical support. It can do it, and we're here to support them.
Murphy was one of the panel members in the Parliament Speaker's debate held at Nahingotoga Village, Narunga this afternoon.
We are there to support governments and the people of each country in responding to 3.3, the SDGs more broadly. There are more than 8 SDGs that HIV connects to, so it's not just 3.3. And it's really important that we work with all the partners, usually led by government, as it is in Fiji, in responding to HIV in that context, that broader context.
Meanwhile, UNDP Pacific Inclusive Growth Team leader Srijana Rana believes more stakeholders are now taking a proactive approach towards its goals.
In the past, we used to have Millennium Development Goals, but we were really, there were only 7 goals and we were really narrowly focused. But now with 17 development goals, the governments across the world have come together to prioritize this agenda, and especially in the Pacific governments.
A classic example of government's approach towards this important agenda is the Parliament Speaker's debate that involves stakeholders and people from grassroots level discussing and ascertaining Fiji's current track in responding to the SDG 3.3 by 2030 to end the AIDS epidemic. Chosaina Nunga, FBC News.
Minister for Economy Aya Said Kayum has indicated the Fijian currency is in a safe space. Speaking in relation to the recent weakening of the Australian dollar, Said Kayum says this could cause a recession and have an effect on our tourism industry. But the advantage for Fiji is that we are not fully integrated into the global market. Apanisa Wangarandovo reports.
After the US-China trade war ramped up over the weekend, the Australian dollar has sunk to its lowest point in a decade, falling to about US 67 cents in trading on Monday, the lowest since 2009. Australians make up about 50% of Fiji's tourism arrivals, and Said Kayum says we are in a way buffeted too.
We are somewhat buffered in a way, and we need to be able to be resilient about it. You know, we saw a few months back there seemed to be a bit of panic in the market. Interest rates were going up for deposits. There seemed to be a bit of scramble. That's all stabilized now. Our liquidity is in excess of $600 million, nearly double to what it was at the end of last year.
The economy minister also highlighted that inflation is currently at 0.7%, while foreign reserves are at $2.2 billion.
The point I wanted to make from this, we need to have the level of tenacity to be able to stand up to these kind of fluctuations in the global market, and to be able to understand that yes, there may be a certain level of impact, however, that we are in a way buffered too, so we need to be creative.
Syed Kayum also stated that several new projects from the semi-public and private sectors should be expected in months to come, as the government is talking to major investors, an indication of confidence in the economy. Apinisa Wangarandovu, FBC News.
Former civil lawyer Shazran Abdul Latif, charged with one count of being in possession of illicit drugs, has been further remanded. While delivering his ruling, the magistrate stated that the accused has 5 pending matters related to drugs before the court. He also stated that Latif has offended every time he was granted bail. Therefore, it is in the interest of justice to deny bail on this occasion. Latif has been charged with being in possession of illicit drugs for the 5th time, arrested following a raid at his house in Nailuva Road, Suva, on the 14th of this month. He was allegedly found with a white substance weighing 0.063 grams, which later tested positive for methamphetamine, and dried leaves that tested positive for marijuana. The case will be recalled on September 3rd. Kaluti is a children's book that talks about colorism in Fiji and takes on a journey of empowerment and self-love. Written and self-published by activist and now author Shazia Usman, Kaluti tells the story of a 10-year-old Indo-Fijian girl living in Suva, confronted with labels based on the color of her skin and questioning what makes her enough. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
I always wanted to read a book like this when I was growing up.
For the author, Zia's story is one she feels many Fijians will relate to.
All of a sudden she overhears this conversation from the window, and it's her aunt, Ranya's mom, and she's talking about Zia, and she's using the word Kaluti. So Zia, coming from a very progressive family, has never heard that word before, but the words in which the aunt describes her and sort of the tone, she figures out that it's actually not a really nice word.
She's also hopeful it's a book that people can learn from.
So that's why I wanted to write for children, because a lot of children still face colorism and a lot of bullying in Fiji today. So I really wanted to focus on that.
Kaluti is currently being sold at both USP and Dominion bookshops. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
And it's business time now with Koroi.
Thank you, Jackie. Coming up, Business License Act under the spotlight. And in growing Fiji, merchant finance sets new goals. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Shamiza. And I'm Salma. We're from Nandi and we love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
My name is Rajnita Lata and I'm from Vatulaloba. और हम सब मिर्ची एफएम सुनता है because it's hot.
Hi, my name is Vinita. I'm from Lambasa. I love listening to Mirchi FM. It's number 1.
हमारा नाम सागर रेड्डी है. हम लोग स्कूल में, हम लोग घर में और कहीं भी रहता हम लोग कल मिर्ची एफएम सुनता. गोल्ड टाउन तावा में मिर्ची एफएम दागो मामा.
Mirchi FM. It's hot.
License fees are one of the major challenges faced by businesses every year. Minister for Industry and Trade Pramila Kumar says, looking at the current Business Licensing Act, it has too many licensing fees. Kritika Kumar reports.
The current business licensing fee becomes a burden on micro businesses, says the Industry and Trade Minister.
The vegetable vendors, they tell you that just because we started a grog business, we have to have another license for grog, we have to have for tobacco, then we have to have stall fees, and if the name of the business is registered, then the business registration name has to be displayed. These are micro businesses we are talking about. So it becomes too cumbersome.
The ministry is working to solve the problem, and new licensing fees will be introduced in January.
This will be based on the 3 or 4 tiered system where we will have the micro businesses, small, medium and large, paying different fees, and one time, one fee.
Meanwhile, the Chief Executive for Fiji Revenue and Customs Service says, upon obtaining licenses, businesses should understand their filing obligations.
Should understand as businesses what your filing obligations are. For SMEs, there are options. You could do 3 monthly, you could do 6 monthly, or you could do annual.
Vishwanath Das says Fiji's filing rate is around 46% and there is lots of room for improvement. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
Now let's take a look at the money markets with Sinifa from the HFC Bank.
Looking at the forex market,
The US dollar index against a basket of 6 major currencies was little changed after dipping 0.1% overnight. Pressure was back on the US dollar today as nagging fears the China-US trade war will drag on and severely hurt economic growth. Elsewhere, sterling rallied yesterday after Britain's opposition Labour Party leader said he will do everything necessary to prevent Britain leaving the EU without a divorce deal. Closer to home, the Aussie dollar was almost flat, having lost 0.4% yesterday. This was after Reserve Bank of Australia's Deputy Governor said a weakening domestic currency was supporting the economy and that further drops would be beneficial. The Aussie continues to be weighed by factors including the Reserve Bank of Australia's monetary easing bias and a bleaker economic outlook in China, which is Australia's largest trading partner. That's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Here are today's exchange rates as set this morning. After rising against all but the Aussie dollar yesterday, the Fiji dollar was mixed today. It slipped against the Chinese yuan and the US dollar, but gained against regional currencies such as the Aussie, Kiwi and Kina, but dropped against the euro and the yen. Now taking a look at the commodity prices were on the rise. Oil price was up, sitting just above $55 a barrel. Gold was also up, settling at $1,544 per ounce, and silver rose to $18.21 per ounce. In growing Fiji, Merchant Finance Limited has taken a leap forward, announcing its plan to be listed on the South Pacific Stock Exchange by next year. Merchant Finance is a subsidiary of Fijian Holdings Limited and launched its new logo last night. FHL Group Chief Executive Officer Nuzab Farid says the new logo signifies the institution's journey towards independence. For the past 15 to 20 years, Merchant Finance has been using the FHL logo. Meanwhile, the success of getting listed next year will be rewarding as customers will benefit from new products.
We are coming with new products like trade finance, hire purchase, educational loans and things like that. We are coming up with that. And we are also going into areas where no banks are not gone. Like we are looking at Nambavalu, Singanga, Dreketi, Tavua, Rakiraki, that sort of area. So where we want to be where the customers are. So we are looking forward for a very exciting year.
That's it from Business Tonight. Sports is up next with Jamie.
Inaka Koroi up ahead in sports. Matawalu psyched up for Tonga clash.
Natango meria maramani waya manatuya sawa awetiki tunde nandi ya ndo marata kana varonga na radio Fiji 1.
Yawa asna vatili yawa mara Monica. Tondo varonga vale bonar doma ibiti lambasa.
Bula natango aprosa ngarse ngor kraki do televe na varonga na radio Fiji 1 na doma ibiti. Natango tsani bukia ngoni na mosi ando taleta kana varonga na radio Fiji 1 na doma ibiti so.
Radio Fiji 1 na doma.
It may just be a warm-up match ahead of the World Cup for the Flying Fijians, but Nicola Matawalu isn't taking the game against Tonga lightly. The Flying Fijians halfback is excited about the clash, but admits there will be no lack of crowd support for the Tongans at Eden Park on Saturday. Aquila Dama reports.
He's known as an entertainer in the team, but understands what the Flying Fijians will be getting themselves into on Saturday at Eden Park in Auckland, New Zealand.
Of course, we all know when Tonga play against Fiji, it's always physical. And to be fair, we're going to play at Eden Park. It's like Tongan home ground. It's a big challenge to us. We're not going to take that softly. We're gonna go there and just do our job to prepare for the World Cup.
Even coach John McKee knows the Tongan supporters love their national teams, as was witnessed during the Rugby League World Cup.
We're really looking forward to getting down to Eden Park. You know, it's really great to always play at those great stadiums, and we know that there'll be a lot of lot of red around the stadium. They'll have big support, but I'm also pretty hopeful that we see a lot of the banner blue flying as well, with a lot of Fijian support from people who are travelling down from Fiji, but also our Fijian population in New Zealand.
But Nicola Matawalu says it will be business as usual for them, and they have a plan on how to contain Tonga after their win against Western Force last week.
The boys are looking forward to the game. First of all, playing with Tonga, we will match them physically first. Our focus is first 20 minutes, first 30 minutes to meet them physically, and then we'll see what's gonna go.
The Flying Fijians left the country this morning and they will meet Tonga on Saturday. Aquila Dhama, FBC Sports.
The first Fijian to be appointed to the World Rugby Law Review Committee says there's a lot of work to be done regarding player safety. Koli Sewambu, who is the lone representative from the Pacific on the committee, says one area of concern at the moment is the scrum.
The recent one that we had is just that scrum law, where now there must be a visible gap just before the engagement in the scrums, because what they found out through researches and studies is that the hookers, from some of the top hookers around the world, that there's a lot of load in their axial, which puts a lot of pressure in their spinal areas. So the recent change is more around player welfare.
World Football governing body FIFA currently has representatives in the country conducting an infrastructure workshop under the FIFA Forward program. 11 members of the Oceania Football Confederation are part of the two-day workshop aimed to enlighten members of the OFC on how to best develop and improve sporting facilities in their respective countries.
It benefits us because it's very timely. We had done the two tenders for the infrastructure, that the regional academy in North, that in Lambasa, and the Super Gymnasium project here in the headquarters. And we will be signing the tender contracts today with the contractors, the architects, and FIFA people represented here too. So this is very positive for us, and it's very timely that this workshop has happened in Fiji too.
The Bar football side has sealed its spot in the 2020 OFC Champions League. Their 3-0 win over Tavoa last weekend ensured Bar a top 2 finish in the VPL, which also guarantees their spot in the OFC Championship. Bar now has 29 points after 11 matches and will finish in the top 2. The men in black play Nandi at the Fiji FA Academy grounds in Bar at 3 p.m. on Saturday, and the win will also mean they claim the VPL title for the 21st time. That's it from sports, but up ahead in our weird and wonderful segment, people wrestling in a pool of gravy. Yes, that's actually a thing. Jackie will explain after the break.
हमारा नाम उमेश कुमार, हम रहता है लेबू और रेडियो फीजी में हरदम सुनता है। बहुत पुराना गाना लगे और बहुत रोज सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा लगे हमको।
उमेश चंद्रा और कांता चंद्रा हमारा वाइफ है। हम लोग रेडियो फीजी 2 बहुत सुंदर से सुनता है, बहुत अच्छा प्रोग्राम, नंबर 1 रेडियो।
कुमार स्वामी नायक है, गोंगवा लेबू लटो का रेडियो फीजी 2 में पुराना गाना लगे, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगे।
कुमार नाकाफी में रहता है, रेडियो फीजी 2 सुनता है।
रेडियो फीजी 2, देश की धड़कन।
It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. It was another dry day around us. It's a Wednesday and from here we slide down to the weekend. It's a bit too early to celebrate, but hey, we don't have to wait till Friday to celebrate. Let's get into the mood now. Now let's quickly hop onto the west. Sunny and vibrant, cool winds completed the beautiful day. Eastwards from Pakhavarasuva, sunny as well with light showers expected later tonight. And up north, more spells of sunshine lined up. At sea, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, low tide at 10:24 p.m. with high tide at 4:56 a.m. Sunrise at 6:16. For tomorrow, more brighter spells in store. Looks like we're going towards a non-rainy weekend. Well, hopefully. Tomorrow's temps, most centers will be cool in the low 20s. And looking further on to Friday, finer spells in the bag. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji and Pulse tonight, we asked, should harsher penalties be imposed on traders who ignore consumer complaints?
I think the traders should be taken to task if any goods is been complained or if they're bad, then we want to take it into task.
I personally think that the traders are also trying to make a living for themselves. They are not forcing consumers to purchase items, and consumers should also be aware of the items they are purchasing.
I think there should be a harsh penalty given to these kind of traders.
Yes, they should be taken to task.
I think they should be penalized.
Yes, it's supposed to be a harsh penalty for them, for those who are selling the fake homes in our towns and cities.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, Fiji bankruptcy rumours are only that, says PM. Post-mortem completed for Nandi family. And Cebu Reese named an All Blacks World Cup team. Now for these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. A poll question segment this week we're asking, is Fiji progressing towards achieving gender equality? Visit our FBC website to answer. And our shot of the day, another marvellous day in our Fijian paradise. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj, via Facebook page FBC News, or our Twitter page at FBC_news or hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe, stay warm. Good night.
We love Today FM. Today FM rocks. Bulaminaka, I'm Linda Fong. I studied Suva. I love listening to Today FM because they play latest music and they rock.
Hi, my name is Asnate. I'm from Ba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, I'm Makereta from Nandi. We love listening to Today FM. Here in Nandi, it rocks.
Hi, I'm Shania. I'm from Lotoka and I love Today FM and it rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.